Hey YouTube, welcome back. You are given a string called s that has these characters only. The task is to determine if the string is a valid parenthesis. Okay, and a valid parenthesis if every open bracket has a corresponding close bracket of the same type. Number two, open brackets are closed in the correct order. It's quite important. So this is true, this is true, this is true, but this is false. So to solve this problem, we must use a stack to keep track of open brackets. The stack helps us ensure that brackets are matched correctly and in the proper order. So we could use a map, like a step-by-step. We can just use a map object to define the relationships between close brackets and their corresponding open brackets. Okay, let's just start in the code directly, because the problem is pretty easy and it's one of the problems that could be quite easier for us to understand. So first we say that we use a stack, and the stack, it will be an empty array, and we will use map. The map, basically in the map we'll put, okay, let's just create a map, because we said that because I don't want to put all that much of code because it's quite annoying, to be honest, guys. So in the map we put every closing bracket has its own opening bracket, and we use the map object to define the relationships between closed brackets and their corresponding open brackets. It will help us a lot, and you will see this in the code. So we start by creating a for loop. So let character of s, okay, and we start by creating if statement if the character equals the close bracket. Okay, because let me make it how to, yeah, if the character equals the closing bracket, I'll just make it like because the double parentheses could mess everything for us. If the character equals the open bracket, all the character equals the curly bracket, open curly bracket, equals I guess the curly one, open, or if it's equal the open bracket for an array, but I don't know its name, I would call it array open bracket, equals an array open bracket. I guess it's doing like, it's done like that. If that was a case, okay, we will push this in the stack dot push. If the current character is open, is in any type of open thing, it's open, we will push it directly to the stack. Okay, if basically this character is closed one, so we will do something interesting. So if the stack the length if the stack the length equals 0, or stack dot pop, if the stack dot pop doesn't equal map dot the current character, map of character, that means we don't have a foreign parenthesis, so we return false. Okay, so here if the current stack is 0, so there is no opening parentheses for the closing one, because basically we first trying to search to ask ourselves, is the character is an open parentheses. If it's not, that means we expect, that means it is a closing parentheses. If it is a closing parentheses, we need to know if does the stack has elements, because if the stack doesn't have elements, then the closing parentheses has no opening parentheses, and when the closing parentheses has no opening parentheses, so it's basically it's basically not working. It's basically not a valid parentheses. And one of the things is quite important: the stack the pop, it should equals the if the value for each closing parentheses, because to make sure that they are in the same order and the same type, it's pretty important. If that was the case, we return false. We let this loop going, and in the end we will have our stack. So basically we need to return is the stack the length equals 0 or not. If that wasn't the case, we return false. Let me submit and try to explain everything for you guys. So again, let's just make step-by-step explanation for the problem. So we iterate through the string for each character in the string. If it is an open bracket, as you can see here, we push it onto the stack. If it is a closed bracket, okay, because else if it's open or closed, so there is nothing more than that. First we check if the stack is empty, or if the top of the stack does not match the corresponding open bracket for the current closed bracket. We use the map for this comparison. If either of these condition is true, we return false immediately because the string is invalid. Otherwise, we pop the top of that stack, remove the last open, and yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. Okay, so yeah, that's how it works. So I would say it's a pretty easy problem to understand. I will highly suggest you to go through one of the example walking through. Yeah, that's it for this video. And if you think my solution wasn't the best or my description wasn't good enough, feel free to give me a comment in the section below so I will improve myself. So that's it for this video, and see you guys in the future.